All right, welcome to The Explainer. Now take a second and think about your office. What do you picture as the biggest risk? Maybe a tripping hazard over by the copier? An ancient coffee machine that looks like it's about to give up? Well, today we're going to talk about a danger you can't even see. It's something you breathe in, about 20,000 times a day, right there at your desk. Yeah, we're diving into indoor air quality, and you'll be surprised how much it controls your health and even how much you get done.
So I'm just going to ask it straight up. What if the biggest risk in your entire office isn't the faulty equipment or a slippery floor, but the actual air you're breathing? It's a pretty wild thought, right? But for so many of us, that's the quiet reality of our 9 to 5.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around the stakes of this invisible hazard, we've got to be on the same page about what indoor air quality, or IAQ as you'll hear it called, even means.
So IAQ, it's not just about, whether the air feels a little stuffy or chilly. It's way deeper than that. It's literally about how the air inside a building is affecting the health and comfort of every single person in there. Think about it. It's the difference between a place where you feel sharp and on your game and one where by 3 p.m. you feel totally drained and you can't even figure out why.
So what's actually messing up our indoor air? Well, it's kind of like a recipe for disaster. First, you've got your pollutant sources. Think chemical fumes from cleaning supplies or even tiny particles from the office printer. Then you've got the pathways that spread the stuff all over the building. But the real kicker? Inadequate ventilation. When the airflow is bad, all that gunk gets trapped inside. It creates this toxic soup that we're all just breathing in all day long. And the impact on people? It's real and it's physical. You know that afternoon slump you just can't shake? Or that headache that only ever seems to pop up at your desk? What about those allergies that, funny enough, vanish the second the weekend starts? Yeah, those aren't just little annoyances. That's literally the building telling you something is off. And if you ignore it, it can lead to some really serious long-term health problems. Look, this is way beyond just feeling good at work. We're talking about a legal and safety issue here. There are clear standards in place, like the Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA, from 1994. These laws basically say that employers have to provide a safe environment, and you better believe that includes the air we breathe. These rules aren't just suggestions. They exist because the danger is very real. It makes taking care of IAQ a totally non-negotiable responsibility. Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. How do you go from just knowing this is a problem to actually doing something about it? How do you become the person who can prevent and solve these issues? Basically, how do you take control of the air in your workplace? Yeah, you can't just guess your way through this. Flying blind isn't an option. You need a real strategic plan. And that plan has to be built on solid technical knowledge. And that's exactly where specialized training comes in. We're talking about something like the OSHA 113 Indoor Air Quality Awareness course. Think of it as your roadmap. It's designed to take all that confusion and turn it into crystal clear action. And a course like this, it's not just about getting a certificate. It's about transforming you from someone who just works in the building to the person who understands the building. You're not just learning the rules. You're learning how to be the one who can walk into a room, listen to a complaint, pinpoint the source, understand the HVAC system, and say with total confidence, okay, I know what's going on, and here's how we fix it. It's all about getting that confidence to actually take charge. So, how exactly does this transformation happen? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the program. This is a packed 2-day journey, and it's all about building your expertise systematically, right from the ground up. Day 1 is all about laying the groundwork, mastering the fundamentals. You start with the law, so you know exactly what you're legally on the hook for. Then, you learn how to decode the industry standards, the IQOCOP. It's kind of like learning to be an IAQ detective. By the time day 1 is over, you'll be able to hear a complaint like everyone's getting headaches and immediately start connecting the dots to a root cause, like a problem with the ventilation. Then comes day 2. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about taking practical control. You'll get into the nuts and bolts of building science and the HVAC system, which is basically the lungs of your building. You'll learn how to look at those complicated assessment reports and see not just data, but answers. And the most important part, you learn how to turn all that analysis into a solid, concrete action plan that doesn't just talk about the problem, but actually fixes it. So, after all that, you might be wondering, is this course actually for me? Who's the right person to become the IAQ expert in an organization? Well, if you look at the list, it's pretty broad.
We're talking everyone from the technicians on the floor to the supervisors and managers calling the shots. But honestly, the most important part is that last line. This is for anyone who is responsible for a safe work environment. At the end of the day, if you have any responsibility for the well-being of the people around you, then yeah, you've got a stake in this.
And this right here really nails the core mission of the course. It's not just about throwing a bunch of facts at you. It's about making sure you understand your specific role and exactly what you need to do to meet standards like OSHA and ICOP. It's about empowering you with practical, actionable knowledge so you can do your job right and do it with confidence.
So we're going to end right where we started, with a question for you. Honestly, tackling indoor air quality is one of the single most powerful things you can do for your team's health, their well-being, and even their performance. It's about taking this huge invisible risk and making it visible, making it manageable, and making it safe. So the only question left is, are you ready to be the one who makes that change?